Good morning, lovely world hearts. It's Lisa here. You're joining me at my desk where I'm about to pull some cards and do a reading with a nice cup of tea. How are you today? Are you all right? I hope so. So yesterday I closed my Facebook group, and I always think that when things don't go the way that you hoped they would, it's a good opportunity to explore your part in it going wrong, what you could do differently, and also what you'd like to do differently next time. I think is the main learning. It's not an opportunity to beat yourself up. So let me just show you the cards that I've pulled. Can you see those? This is our card spread, and then I've actually pulled some tarot either side that I'm going to bring in to look at this. Now this Facebook group was started at the beginning of January, and every month I did a free journal class, and they're all here on YouTube. They're all recorded and here on YouTube if you want to look at them. There's a whole playlist of them. I think it's called Journal With Me, and they were wonderful classes, and they had so much insight and guidance and real healing for the people that came. But my intent was to create a community, a tribe of women who were mad about journaling and who wanted to learn and grow with me, had this insatiable curiosity, that were seekers, that were on a mission, perhaps a spiritual mission, to find a deeper meaning in life, and to do that through writing and journaling. And the classes were fantastic, but what was happening was that about 10% of people would turn up for the live class, which is fine because, life is busy and things get in the way. And then the other people would watch the replay, but they would never say thank you or comment. And then I noticed that actually people didn't want to have dialogue and didn't want to get involved in the community. They didn't want to share of themselves or, they didn't want to get involved. That was quite clear. And I did a poll to ask them why they were there, and they just said they were there for the free classes. And I thought, do you know what? We could do YouTube tutorials on journaling. I don't need to spend hours of my week holding space in a Facebook group, creating posts and more content. I'm going to say goodbye to it. So there's great healing in this experience. So I want you to sort of be guided through this experience with me and think about an experience or a relational experience, and maybe it's going on for you now, and that's why you're drawn to the reading, where things didn't work out the way that you hoped. And in healing, it's about having compassion and not beating yourself up, but looking at what the learning is. So what I'm seeing here is this is a cyclical thing for me, and this isn't the first time this has happened to me. I've been coaching for about 10 years, and before I was coaching women who've been in toxic relationships and teaching journaling practices and teaching them how to get back in touch with their intuition. I was a kids coach, and I was basically mothering and nurturing children, interestingly, when actually the person I need to be mothering and nurturing was me. But this was a cycle where I was attracting in clients who were very much like my relationship with my own mother. So are you attracting in people? We call this compulsion repetition. It's a trauma response, unfortunately, and it's very unconscious because it comes from the inner child. Are you attracting in people who are like your mother? So in this regard, I was attracting in people who made me choose them over myself. Well, obviously that they didn't make me. I was choosing them over myself. So I was putting myself last. So here we can see Joey from Friends with the tarot. It's juggling 2 pentacles, 2 coins. It's like I feel like I have to choose the other person to stay in relationship when actually I need to choose myself, which was the case with my mother at the end. Setting boundaries with her meant that I was choosing myself, and these people are very affronted by you having boundaries and choosing yourself. How selfish of you, how very dare you. But not the case at all. And it's really interesting that Joey's down here with this tips bucket, because whenever I did the class, I'd say to people, if you'd like to say thank you can buy me coffee. And obviously I don't expect that, but some people came to like all 11 classes and never even uttered a thank you. And I think the currency when you're online is to like a video or to leave a little comment below for the person making it, because that's then a reciprocal, healthy relationship. It's two people in an energy exchange which is balanced. It's not. It wasn't up to me to do all the giving. It was meant to be a community where there was give and take. And that's what a healthy relationship is, about give and take. So that card is really, and look, he's standing on the street by himself saying, and this is my inner child saying, please see me, please notice me, please show me that I'm worthy. It's a worthiness wound. And actually we'll come on to that in a minute. Because when you've got a worthiness mother wound, it says your cup it's a leaky cup. All the love's pissing out the bottom. Excuse my French. I don't know if you're allowed to swear on YouTube. I'm quite a swear bear. I'll try and rein it in. What you want is giving from a cup that's already full, that's already overflowing with love. When your cup is full of self-love, you can give from that place. And then you don't get burnt out and resentful, because I sound like I'm bitter and resentful, but in the great context of this reading, I haven't been in this cycle just for this last year in this Facebook group. I've been in this cycle for 10 years, attracting in these people. And until I repair this mother wound that lives inside of me, then it will continue on. So I need to be a bit of an explorer. I need to be curious, not judgmental. I need to be kind and compassionate to myself as I try and work out what's happened. And there's a link into joy here, which I think this is about allowing people to love you, letting them in. So yes, your cup, you need to give from a full cup, but this card was reversed. So for me, that means that I wasn't giving from a full cup, because nothing was filling my cup up. I was asking for people to put stuff in my cup. And I don't just mean money, because I did it for free. I didn't expect it, but I did expect people to actually talk to me. Can you imagine that in real life? Can you imagine walking down the street and people who'd come to a free class that you'd given in real life, and then they saw you and they just walked on by and blanked you? It's just rude, isn't it? But I feel like that happens a lot online, because I feel like content creators are just being seen as, like you switch on YouTube and it's like switching on the TV, and you pay for your TV license, don't you? But for YouTube, it's all free content. So maybe I ask people today to think about the person behind the content creation and realise that there is a person there who is trying to send out love into the world and be helpful. If you find yourself in these relationships, these non-reciprocal relationships where you're giving and the other person's doing all the taking, you're very likely an empath or a highly sensitive person. They're the type of people I work with. But leave me a little cup of tea in the comments below. Oh, and remember to give this video a like while you're watching it. So yes, what are the lessons that we're learning in healing? There's something about joy here. So I pulled these two cards, and obviously it's down to the Nine of Pentacles. It's down to your self-esteem. Now look, Joey's self-esteem here is built on the material things, on how big his house is with the swimming pool and how many accolades and awards he can win. And my self-esteem, as my inner child self-esteem, was built on that as well. It's what I could do as a person, not who I am. There's no nurturing, no mothering. Like a good enough mother lets you know that you're innately good. We're all innately good. We're all worthy just by being us. So yes, and the reason for that is this type of person that I'm attracting is very entitled. So they think they're entitled to free content. Yeah, I can have whatever I like. I don't have to give anything back. That makes them quite superior, I think, when you're entitled. Like you think the rules don't apply to you. And you're very sort of self-absorbed, probably unable to regulate your own emotions, highly manipulative, and in complete denial about that, and presenting a very different person to the world. I think these sort of covert mothers who abuse their children in private, or they mess with their kids' heads, like manipulation is emotional abuse. And the other thing is that if you're enmeshed with your mum, so enmeshment is where there's no boundaries. So these people don't have any boundaries either, so they overstep boundaries. by the way, I'm not identifying anyone in my groups as having this energy, but what I'm saying is I'm attracting this in as a tribal energy, and I want to heal it, and it might be the same for you. I'm not naming and shaming people, but anyway, I think those people wouldn't even think I was talking about them anyway, because they're that far gone that they don't realise. I've lost my train of thought now. I was going to say something about I can't remember what I was going to say now. Or maybe it'll come back. Oh, the self-esteem. Oh yeah, the enmeshment. There's no boundaries. That's where I was. There's no boundaries. So you exist as one person. So put those two pentacles together. And it's really interesting because 11 is a master number and it's a portal. So I think this is a healing portal. 1 and 1 make 2. But it's 2 become 1, like that Spice Girls song. That's what it reminds me of. Do you remember that Spice Girls song, 2 become 1? Where you are an extension of the mother and you are not allowed to have a separate sense of self because it threatens your safety and security. So everything you do that isn't in alignment with what your mum wants is a massive affront to her. She's offended by it. She can't stand you individuating, having your own thoughts and feelings. Maybe she insists that you tell her everything. Yeah, this mother wound is big though, because if you grow up with a mother like that, you do attract that energy in. You do attract it in, and you will keep attracting it in until you heal it. This is the cycle where we're going round and round and round. It's like a never-ending story. So yeah, if your self-esteem is based on what you do and what you look like even, or how much you achieve in your life, there ain't going to be much joy in that, because you're going to be working really, really hard. Really, really hard. It's very superficial, this 9 of Pentacles. What you want is self-esteem that comes from the inside out, and it's how much you like yourself and how much you value yourself. So I think the gift for me is that I'm not defined by my relationship with that Facebook group. Like, the way that Facebook group turned out was an opportunity to heal this mother wound. And I suppose it depends how you measure success, but I'm measuring success on the fact that I delivered 11 one-hour journaling workshops for free, which were amazing and healing, and I'm incredibly proud of myself. Oh, sorry for the noise in the background. The restaurant next door is emptying their bottle bank. I don't know if you can hear that. It's very, very loud. Sounds like someone's at a Greek party smashing up plates. Oh, so distracted, Lisa. Stay with the card. Stay with the card. I can't remember what I was saying now. Sorry. Just got distracted by that noise. It's very superficial, I think, is the main message there. Oh, yes. I am not deeming my results, my success, on the number of people that engaged. What I measure is the amount of love that I've put out into the world, the amount of healing I've put out into the world, the amount of learning that I've put out into the world, knowing that all those people are going to walk away from those classes with a journal kit having learnt something about themselves that they wouldn't have known or realised had they not done the class. This transformational journaling that I teach is really powerful. And I think people can't believe how powerful it is, because they think, oh, it's a pen and a piece of paper. But my journal's behind there. And my lip gloss. Yeah, I just think people don't get that, but it really, really is. And, we don't need all these things to feel good about ourselves. If you do, then you've very likely got low self-esteem. I mean, we can like the nice things in life, but you don't want your sense of self balanced on all of that. There's also this sense of defensiveness, but this, I think, is more about standing up for yourself. And I do think that this reading has helped with that, because the minute I started saying to people, hang on a minute, this isn't fair, this isn't right, I automatically felt myself going into this space of feeling guilty and ungrateful and ashamed, and like I was moaning, complaining, like, you're putting this on, you're giving it, you're allowing it to happen, where are your boundaries? And that used to happen in this relationship too with my mum, where if there was any kind of discord or conflict, or I asked for my needs to be met, so I spoke up, and became an equal, and this is about speaking up for yourself and using your voice. If I became an equal and said, hey, hang on a minute, can you do this, or can I have that? I always go, oh, it's always about you, isn't it? And you get told how selfish you are, when actually that was a projection, because it wasn't about me at all. I wasn't allowed to stand up for myself. And I certainly didn't have boundaries, because if you go back to this enmeshment card of this two become one, where you're locked in with the other person, there are no boundaries. And it's really suffocating. You feel like you can't escape, you can't speak up, you're not allowed to have needs. It almost kind of like makes you invisible, like makes you disappear. But this is the cycle I'm caught up in, because my inner child goes, well, I'm really safe when I'm in this space of disappearing and letting the other person get their needs met and not me. But actually that's not true for me as an adult now. And if I want to let joy into my life, I need to have boundaries around letting people in who are takers, effectively. And there is a saying, isn't there, that says, givers need boundaries, or givers need to learn how to say no, because takers won't. You know, they won't ever stop. They'll just keep taking for as long as they can and not giving anything back. So I finally kind of stood up for myself and said to the people in the Facebook group, you know, I do expect you to engage. I do want you to talk to me. And what was interesting was, and I don't know if people know this, but when you're in a Facebook group, if you don't come onto the live video, the Facebook behind the scenes statistics shows you the names of the people who've watched the replay. So I could see all the people that were watching it. I could see how many minutes of the replay they'd watched. And I knew that they were the ones that weren't talking. Now, there could be a really good reason why they're not talking. Perhaps they have a mother like mine who was overbearing and horrible, and they don't feel safe in groups using their voice, because our family is our first group. And if we're not comfortable speaking up and having an opinion and having a sense of self in that our family of origin, or we feel like an outsider or a misfit, then when we go into another group, we're going to act that stuff out. But whatever the reason is, we're all adults. And so I'm not asking them to reveal their soul to me in the group. I'm saying, can you just press the like button or leave an emoji at the bottom of my post to let me know that you've seen it, to let me know you're here, to let me know you're engaged. There's a real sense of sort of neglect. Like, well, that's nothing to do with me. I don't need to get involved in that. I'm just here for the free content. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, I'm not just here for the free content. I would like to have some engagement. But this is about me and my parents, actually. So I printed this off of the internet. It's a meme by Shahida, who is a self-care warrior. And this is kind of like the lessons that I need to learn. So it's like, I need to be good to everyone, which is what I was taught. I was taught you're unkind, you're selfish, you're a horrible person, you're full of shaming me, you're a terrible child if you don't do exactly what I want you to do. And you've got to replace that with, I am good to those who are good to me, and I protect myself against those who are not. Those people in that group were not good to me. They were not good to me. And therefore, I'm protecting myself. There you go, there's Rachel. I'm protecting myself against those that are not. The other one says, I need to show compassion for those who hurt me. Abso-freaking-lutely not. I need to show compassion for myself and cut ties with those who hurt me time and time again. Right? So that's what I did. I shut the group down. I said, do you know what, guys? This isn't working for me anymore. It's been really lovely knowing you. See you later. I actually closed the group this morning, which is why these cards have come out, I think. It's Friday morning as I'm recording this. Friday the 8th of December. And then we've got trust them. No, trust has to be earned. I trust myself and my intuition. I don't know this person yet. And while I can be cautiously optimistic, I'll learn more over time. And you see, my cycle, my pattern is remaining that hopeful inner child that keeps on and is looking is looking for that person to finally see her, to finally give her some love. Just having a sip of my tea. Wet my whistle. Right. But there is something around it not feeling safe enough to let joy in. And it wasn't safe enough to let joy in because majority of the time my mood was dictated by my mother's mood. So I don't know if you're around someone who's very emotionally volatile and everyone feels like they're walking around on eggshells. But if this person wasn't happy, then, and you know, as a kid, you're full of joy. You want to spin around and play out in the garden till late and, you know, make a mess and get your toys out. And sometimes that was allowed. But if to be fair, sometimes that was allowed. But actually, whenever my mum was emotionally dysregulated and triggered and she didn't know how to manage that, because, and this goes back, this cycle isn't just about the cycle I'm caught in with my Facebook people. This is a cycle that goes back through mothers on both sides of the family, I think. But on my mum's side of the family, my mum didn't have a mum. Well, she did, but her mum died when she was quite young. So, you know, this mothering wound of not having a mother present, goes back. And if it's unexplored, then it gets passed on. And this is the explorer. You must explore it if you want to heal it. And if you want to let joy into your life, because I think what happens is this mother wound brings up so much pain, so much grief. And we'll move on to that actually now. So much grief. There's the grief card. This has been coming up a lot for me recently. This is Phoebe. So in the grief card, you've got 3 cups that have turned over. So, you know, that's the loss of the Facebook group. And then you've got 2 that are still there. Now, this is also saying to me, you are fixated on the people that won't talk to you. They represent the 3 cups. When here, there's 2 people over here that are talking to you. Because there were about 10 or 11 people in the group that would talk to me. But this is like the inner child obsession with the mother. I will get you to notice me. I will get you to love me. I will show you. I will prove to you with all my accolades that I am worth loving. No, you don't need to prove that to anyone. You absolutely are worth loving just as you are. You've got nothing to prove. And people like that will take advantage of you. If they see you trying harder and wanting to be liked and wanting to be loved and wanting to be seen, oh, it's pretty sick, isn't it? If you've said to them, please can you like my video, and they continue on to not do that, what are they getting out of that? I have no idea. Anyway, this is the grief. But the grief, that's the grief for the group. Like the outcome here is I need to go and find a new tribe, and we'll look at that card in a minute. But before I can do that, I actually need to grieve the losses. And I think it goes deeper than shutting that Facebook group down, which I have been sad about this morning. I've also been, I think the other feelings are frustration and confusion. But you see, I always think that when someone's not being upfront with you and they're not showing you who they are and you leave a relationship feeling confused, it's a freaking toxic relationship, because this one left me feeling like I've been put in a blooming spin cycle on the washing machine. So the grief work here around this mother wound is grieving what you didn't have. That you didn't have that loving, nurturing, that you had to choose her over you. Like, who asks their child to choose between them and you? There should be enough there should be enough space in the relationship for both of you. Abso-freaking-lutely. To grieve the fact that you weren't ever seen for who you are, for the goodness, the innate goodness that you are as a human, that your intentions were pure and good, and for the fact that you weren't allowed to have boundaries. You weren't allowed to say no, you just had to do as you were told all the time. Yeah? So there's a lot of grieving to be done there. That's sad, isn't it? But moving forward, when you have grieved, then I want you to look at these, carry on with these people, carry on talking to the people that spoke to you. Don't cast aside those relationships just because of these 3 cups over here. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got the Fool reversed, which I think is about, so the Fool upright is about, look, he's going on a new adventure and he doesn't know where he's going. He's about to step off the top of a building. He doesn't know where he's going. He's going on an adventure. He's starting over again. Now, I am starting again, but because it's reversed, I'm starting again with experience. So if I do the grief work, if I look at this situation, then I can start again, but with a very different energy. And energetically, if I heal some more of this mother wound, then I will find my tribe. Let's have a look at this card. Your spiritual tribe is out there, and once you find your tribe members, rejoice together, motivate each other, support each other, and stick together. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Pardon me. Oh, sorry. I've got burps. Normally when I burp when I'm reading, excuse me, it's because I either get itchy nose or sneezing or burping. It's because this is something for me to pay attention to. Share your accomplishments, hopes, desires and heartbreak, which I think I've done in this reading. Praise each other and offer the kindest tough love when needed. There's strength in numbers, you're never alone. And actually for my inner child, don't create relationships that are based on feeling the loneliness that this inner child felt. Don't do that, because that's never going to be a healthy tribe, because it's created out of a trauma response. Create your tribe from a place of shared values, from a place of love, from a place of healthy boundaries, from a place of cheering each other on and wanting to be there with each other, from a place of transparency and honesty, from a place of enthusiasm, from a place of wanting to give back and be part of that. So I don't know what my new tribe will look like. Maybe there will be some kind of community that forms on here from doing these little videos, because I'm really enjoying doing them. They're great fun, and I've always been told that if something is fun, if something brings you joy, it's like the Marie Kondo decluttering. Does it bring me joy? If it's something that brings you joy, it's meant for you. It's absolutely meant for you. And so I don't know if you like these card readings. If you do like them, can you drop me an emoji below? You can choose one. I don't think there is an emoji for tribe. Maybe it's a heart. I don't know. What does a tribe or a community, a group of supportive people mean for you? But I just refuse to be stuck in this cycle. And I think whilst I grieve for my losses and heal this mother wound, I probably do need space and time to go within and really, honour those feelings and look at that, so that I don't go out into the world again creating a tribe. Like I take the learned experience. So the fall is, I am starting again, but I've got all this learned experience and healing. So I'm not starting from scratch. And you know what, when you're really honest about things, if people don't like it, they just drop off, and then you know that they're not meant for you. So the more that you are like your true self, and the more that you tell the truth, the more that you take off this mask and show people who you really are, the more you'll find your people. So I don't know if that resonates with you. I know I'm telling it about my story, but I think that could apply to any relationship that's based on a need of your inner child that was unmet, that could then develop into a healthy relationship where you're having to put other people before you, where you're burnt out from overgiving and your cup is empty, where it's more based on how things look, and where there aren't healthy boundaries, where you don't feel like you can be a separate person. But there's huge amounts of healing in this today. What can we put in the comments? What emoji we can put in the comments that means that for us watching this video, that the healing goes out into the world? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a candle, the light, or a star. The star card in the tarot is healing. But yeah, thank you for listening to my reading. I'm going to go and enjoy my cup of tea now, and I'm going to go and journal on these cards. So actually, I invite you to do the same. Journaling on the cards is powerful. Notice what you see. Notice if you're drawn to the images, if you're drawn to the colours, if you're drawn to my story and it resonates with you. And thank you so much for being here. And just to let you know that at the moment I'm doing 2024 energy readings with the cards. And there is a video on here that shows you behind the scenes and shows you how I do that. And I can pull cards for you for next year and look at the energies you're sitting in and what's coming through for you and what you might be looking at in 2024. So if you'd like to book a reading with me, then please do so. I will put a link below. And until next time, take care. See you soon. Bye for now.